Alright everyone, if you want to see a 10-minute straw man, there's a link in the description to a video by DarkMatter2525. I'll pin it as well for those of you who are watching on YouTube. You should definitely go watch it. And it's funny almost in a self-satirical manner because this is a leftist posing as a right-winger to deliver a diatribe on leftists who accidentally self-satirizes the left in an odd reversal, sort of a 180. This is going to be a little bit long-winded here because I'm going to try to pick this apart. But go check it out and see it for yourself. First and foremost, I'd just like to say this. I am not part of the right. It's funny because he's satirizing as though the right considers the left as a homogenized boogeyman. It's the basic principle of the video. The irony is that in a 180 of reality, he's actually the one doing that about the right. Oh, the right has all of these weird, wonky beliefs. They're so religious and they want people in jail and to jail potheads and stuff like that, and women barefoot in the kitchen, and they're all racist, and all of these other various tropes. He claims to be still subscribed to me, and therefore he knows that I'm far right, according to his reply to me on Twitter. Well, if you're subscribed to me and you're watching my content, then you would know that that's not the case. If you look at anything beyond me talking about guns, which is arguably not really a left-right issue, and I'll get into that a little, taxes, on which I'm definitely further right than the Republican Party. I would agree with anyone on that. Beyond that, I don't fall on the right wing of the spectrum. I'm a classical liberal. And here, let me give a little bit of backstory here. The only reason that I'm actually making a video about this particular individual lumping me in with this right, I guess based on the fact that I support Trump. And again, I've tried to explain that my support for Trump is not hardline support for many of his policies. The alternative is a dude with dementia who would probably start a world war. Fucking no thanks. And if you think that Biden represents some variant of the left, then you're nuts anyway. But let me tell a little backstory because this is the reason why I'm making this video. I actually was subscribed to this dude like 10 years ago. Because when I first got on YouTube and sort of the dissident political community initially is born out of a left-wing backlash against the Bush administration, more than anything else, the Iraq War and all of the other bullshit that was going on with Bush. I considered myself at the end of the 2000s basically a liberal. I considered myself a liberal and generally supported the Democrats because the alternative, it seemed, was evangelo-con moralistic bullshit, number one, and a lot of censorship from the Bush admin, number two, and war. That's basically what it represented. Modern politics has shifted. The left often talks about, or I should say the Democrats in a more general sense, well, the parties flipped a while ago, so the Klan was actually the Republican Party, stuff like that. Well, the parties have flipped back partially. In the last 10 years, we've undergone a major political paradigm shift, and a lot of people don't even fucking realize it. The Democrats were basically hippie-tripping it up, no more war, censorship bad, let's treat each other decently, and corporations shouldn't, interfere with communication and stuff. Early wave censorship was largely aimed at left-wing groups if it was political. Facebook used to primarily take off leftists but for anti-war posts because they'd post pictures of children ripped apart by bombs and stuff to protest the war, and they get banned for it. On YouTube, initially, you couldn't post lesbians kissing, but you could post black people jokes. That would have been fine in 2008 on YouTube. It wouldn't have been outside of the enforced TOS, but lesbians kissing each other would have been a no-no and gotten you banned. You've had a 180 in the way that the digital world especially is treated. When I first arrived, therefore, I subscribed to Dark Matter. I was subscribed to Lacey Green. I was subscribed to The Amazing Atheist. This was the main political and religious, in some cases, content I watched. I was an atheist, hardline at the time. Would have fit in more with that end of the skeptic community. And ironically, I was subscribed to and enjoyed Right Wing Watch at the time. Before they sold out and took big money and decided to hire a tech expert who mainly just complains about the right wing on YouTube. Back when they would lampoon people like Pat Robertson, and by the way, in his statement regarding his video, in the end of the video, I counted no less than 4 interesting linguistic usages that seem to have come from another channel. I'm wondering if I'm on it right now. I'm wondering if maybe he does pay more attention to my work than I initially suspected, but obviously not to the actual views. more the linguistic terminology, I suppose. But anyway, let me go through a few things in this straw man, because it becomes self-satire. The first insinuation, like the first minute of the entire thing, is just about how the right represents, and you gotta understand, he's posing for satirical purposes, it's a satirical idea, as a PragerU presenter from the right talking about the left, and sort of issuing a very stereotypical sort of rehash of what he feels the right actually believes, or presents itself as believing. So you gotta keep that in mind, in context. The first thing is a diatribe about religion. Now, again, if he knew anything about me, you would know I'm not a religious person. I excoriate religion. I don't go to a church or a temple or anything like that, and I'm also an apatheist. My spiritual beliefs are not religious beliefs, and I'm hoping that he understands the differentiation between these two terms. Religion is, I have a dogma and doctrine, I go to church, ritualized behavior. Spirituality is the more amorphous, general, malleable belief in things that are beyond the totally normal, mundane, and described by science. Now, of course, he might consider these two things both just vague superstition, but it's not the same thing as religion. Again, don't go to a church, don't have a Bible or anything like that. I've met many people on the right that are fundamentally irreligious. And the idea, I guess the only reason that I was put in this video, like at the end he has my logo there, and with the insinuation that I'm on the right, and some of the people that he puts there do have conservative beliefs, like Razorfist, I think, considers himself conservative. But Tim Pool is fundamentally a liberal. I'm a classical liberal / libertarian. That doesn't overlap with the conservative broader movement in the US, which is the only reason why you're even mentioning religion, which is the big trope of the channel, is irreligion, atheism, like mocking gods and stuff like that. The problem is that doesn't really fit in with modern day right politics anymore anyway. The Evangelicon movement, I sort of know where he's coming from. Because back again at the end of the 2000s, early 2010s, I would have said the same thing. The Republicans specifically, and conservatives in a more broad sense, were highly religious at the time. They were still complaining about Harry Potter. Who's complaining about Harry Potter at the moment? Is it church wives? No, they all read Harry Potter. They don't give a fucking shit anymore because it didn't turn their kids into a bunch of witches. No, it's people on the far left. It's people who consider J.K. Rowling problematic because she believes in the biological basis of the female species. It's done a total 180 with regards to that sort of kind of politic, and the cancel culture back 10 years ago was the right. And people on the right, you need to own up to this. It was a lot of Jesus stuff. I guess the insinuation is that I'm on the right because I support Trump. My support for Trump is not entirely ideological. It's partially a reaction to the fact that the Democratic candidate has Alzheimer's disease, and I'm not comfortable with him leaving behind an unelected first female president of color, by the way. I think that would probably cause some social issues in the nation, and I don't want him to get all the Clintons back in the White House sort of inner advisory circle fomenting war, because that's what we saw under Bush-Obama. And it's all the same people. There's a reason that this moron has all of Bush's people campaigning for him. People want to complain about Trump had John Bolton in there as an advisor for 6 months. Everybody on the Bush campaign supports Biden. Don't you find this a little mysterious? This should send out so many alarm bells for the early dissident, like skeptic left. Alarm bells should be going off in your head like a goddamn air raid siren, because that's what you may end up hearing if the Democrats apparently get their candidate in there. I digress, though, because Biden's not on the left and Trump is not on the right, and there's the point. Me supporting Trump, even if it were ideological, wouldn't be evidence of being on the right at all. How is his tax plan right-wing? It's not that different from the tax code as it was before from Obama, who supposedly was on the left, somewhere on the spectrum. I'm not understanding the basic premise here. On guns, bump stock ban, other than that, really no change. So I guess he's not a fanatic on those, although he partners with the NRA and cheers about guns all the time. And he does the Jesus thing once in a while. When does he go to church? He's one of those Christians who's marginal, a Christian in name who goes to church on Christmas and for a photo op, dude. He's a Manhattan billionaire business Democrat. He doesn't give a fucking shit about religion. He just wants lots of money. Money's his religion. Couldn't get more American, by the way, in many respects. You go through this video, though. So first you got the insinuation that the right represents religion. Well, that doesn't apply to me, and it doesn't apply, I think, to several of the other people that are on his final list. Is Tim Pool religious? I don't know, can you see Tim Pool like a Catholic mass or something, how funny it would be? Maybe he has to remove his hat if he goes to mass, I think, so that'd be a little bit of a problem because it's part of his uniform. It's part of his religious garb. I can't really see Razor Fist going to a church that didn't involve heavy metal in the service, but you know, I could be totally wrong. I think PJW is a Christian, but come on. So, religious. Pro-war, supposedly. Well, I've never been pro-war. Again, I never met a war I didn't like. Puts me again at a 180 from the Bushite Republican Party especially, which is really the straw man that's being used here is aimed more at the right as it was 10 years ago than it is now. Look through my content. I'm pro-gay rights. I'm pro-choice unabashedly. I actually get, you know, sometimes reamed by some of my own commenters because of that. I believe in marginal environmentalism. In fact, I might go further than some Democrats on that particular issue, not saying that they're specifically left-wing on it. We want a carbon tax and carbon credits. Whoopee! It's NIMBY bullshit. I'm not pro-war. Again, though, being pro-war doesn't put you on the right at this point. Being pro-war arguably makes you more like just a neoliberal or something. The left is generally anti-war, and the right increasingly is almost pacifistic in an external sense. Doesn't want a world police. It's like a 180 from the Bush administration. That's basically the straw man of the point of this whole video. I guess the insinuation is that the right doesn't want reproductive rights. They want gay people to be lynched. No, I don't. I've never pushed for those things. The drug war is at one point mentioned. When have I made a pro-drug war statement? I want to legalize heroin. What are you fucking talking about, dude? The entire video is a giant straw man that barely applies to most of the people that are explicitly listed at the end of the video. That's the problem. Most of the things that are actually being spoken about, when you're talking about like the PragerU side of the right, you're not really talking about the same independent dissident right as someone like myself or Razor Fist anyway. Not, again, even necessarily part of the same political structure that you would label right. With the exception, again, of taxes. And initially, I would have been, you know, not necessarily against the current tax code until I started making a reasonable amount of money, and I realized how onerous it really was. When I realized that you didn't have to actually be rich to be taxed up the ass, it changed my mind a little bit. Yeah, it made me a little bit fiscally right-leaning. Fucking sue me. But yeah, you can check out his video. It's pretty funny. The problem is it's a self-satirizing self-own of the way the left actually perceives the right. Masquerading as a satire of the way the right perceives the left, without even properly identifying what the right is. Support for Trump doesn't make a person right-wing. That's like saying that a person is a communist because they support Bernie Sanders. No, some of them are just taken in by his slicked-back charisma. Some of them are just the Bernie bros. They don't even know what he stands for. They're just like, well, he seems good to me. All my young friends like him, so I'm a Bernie bro now. And stuff like that. Some people support Trump because the alternative is goddamn shit. Why do you think I voted for Trump in 2016? Hillary Clinton was laughing about war with Iran and laughing about destroying Libya and Gaddafi dying and shit like that. She sounded like Bush to me. No shit, I'm not going to vote for her. It became difficult too because prior the Republican Party had completely fucked itself. You look at Mitt Romney in 2012 and there's no way I was voting for his ass. No, but you can pay attention to the 10-minute straw man there. You should definitely take a look at it, and you know, you can weigh in the comment section too. I think he explicitly was like, oh, what did he do? He made some comment, I think, on Twitter there where he was talking about being afraid that he'd get dogpiled by my fans or something, which is pretty funny, honestly. That's about all. Peace out.